big fight with him. Okay? What bothered me when he announced that he he respect me, but he doesn't like what Gia and Riyadh Season doing to boxing. And after that, I respond with what I respond, and he sending indirect message to me by someone and said, "No, I am respecting you, but was situation between me and Eddie when we talk, and I don't like the way of Eddie talking to me." Then I said, "It is not my responsibility if something happened between you and someone else. Why get me inside this?"
Yes.
You understand me?
Yeah.
We're looking with respect with all fighters, and we want to do the big event and the big fight. What's not happened before for a lot of reason, and my door is open for all the fighters. And let's see. He sent to me a direct message. He want to connect after his
After the
fight.
fight. Okay.
But and even I don't know if it is this right message or real message or not. I don't know. I just tell you what happened and what I receive.
Yeah. Do you have hope of rekindling the relationship? You believe that you know, after his fight with Edgar Berlanga, that you can sit down and hopefully make something happen?
It is nothing personal. It is
Okay.
business.
Business.
Yeah.
Would you still like to do the Terence Crawford fight with Canelo at 168 pounds?
Yeah. What I am dream.
Yeah.
I like to see it against Crawford. I like to see it against Benavides.
Yeah. See,
Shocking news. Shakur Stevenson has officially left his promoter, Eddie Hearn. They had a 2-fight deal. Well, Shakur made it a 1-fight deal. And it was only against Padley, an electrician. According to Dan Rafael, Shakur fired Eddie Hearn and left Matchroom to hire Lou DiBella. Dan Rafael reported that Shakur split with Matchroom and his manager Jay Prince has hired Lou DiBella as his promoter. Well, that was odd, especially that Shakur actually already landed the Zabata fight. Now, first of all, Turki announced the Ring Magazine card for the Shakur fight. And man, it's going to be stacked with Hamza versus Edgar Berlanga, which that should be the fight to start off this card. Then David Morrell returned, and Puello versus Matias. This, without a doubt, should be the co-main. It's going to be a very entertaining fight, just like the main event. And I see the boxer Puello coming out with a victory. I mean, we've seen Puello against an aggressive style many times against Gary Russell and other fighters, and he did well against them. So I see no difference against Matias, who got beaten by a lesser boxer in Liam Paro. And then what should be the main event, Shakur versus Zabata. If this fight is not going to be the main event in New York, instead, if they put Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza as the main event, that's going to be extremely disrespectful to Shakur, since Shakur is the biggest name on this card by far, and he's the most accomplished. On top of that, he's fighting a Mexican fighter. We all know the biggest rivalry in the sport of boxing has always been black fighters versus Mexican fighters, since boxing is built on race, nationality, and pride. With that being said, we gotta discuss the elephant in the room, and that's Shakur leaving Eddie Hearn. Why will he do that? Especially if Eddie Hearn did right by him. He was able to deliver the Zabata fight. And he tried to deliver the Floyd Schofield fight. Well, the same reason why Canelo didn't work with Turki right away. Remember, Canelo came out apologizing to Turki pretty much when Turki pulled his card by saying, okay, we're not going to work with you, Canelo. That's when Canelo came out apologizing to Turki, saying that he didn't like how Eddie Hearn was talking to him. Back then, we didn't know what that meant. Turki responded to Canelo by telling him, your problem with Eddie Hearn has nothing to do with me. That's your business. That's your problem with Eddie, not me. The moment Canelo talked to Turki directly, he automatically said yes. He told Turki, as long as you keep your promise on what we talked about, then it's a go. Well, the common denominator here is Eddie Hearn. I told you guys when Shakur was complaining to Turki about not keeping his promise about the Zubaida payday, I was questioning Eddie Hearn's role in all of this because Eddie is Shakur promoter, not Turki. So shouldn't Eddie Hearn be the one who is paying Shakur to fight Zubaida, not Turki? Seemed like a conflict of interest to me. After all, Shakur didn't sign a 2-fight deal with Turki. He signed a 2-fight deal with Matchroom, aka Eddie Hearn. Therefore, Shakur leaving Matchroom makes you question, did Eddie Hearn deliver the message? Did he deliver them numbers from Turki to Shakur correctly? If Turki was offering Shakur, let's say 6 or 7 million to fight Zubaida, right? Or 5 million. Did Eddie Hearn offer Shakur that same number from Turki to Shakur? Or did he change it? Did he keep $1 million to himself? Because in his mind, he's the promoter and he brought them together without telling Shakur he did. Eddie is still going to get his percentage from Shakur purse anyways. However, that's just another light million added on top of that for his services. Allegedly, I'm just giving you a scenario to why possibly Shakur left Eddie Hearn. I mean, you can't simply leave a promoter and go sign to another promoter, especially if you already signed a 2-fight deal. That's a breach of contract. The only way you could do that is because your promoter breached the contract by doing some funny business and you caught him. That's the only possible way. Or if the promoter wasn't able to keep his promise about the payday for the Zubaida fight, that could also be a possibility. Either way, it's not looking good for Eddie Hearn. Let's see what Eddie says about this, along with Shakur, to why they split from their partnership. Remember, thanks to the Muhammad Ali Act in the sport of boxing, this act protects the fighters from any funny business. They can talk to the source directly. They don't have to get their information from a second source like their promoters. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, Dana White is trying to change the Muhammad Ali Act as we speak, is because he don't want to offer his fighters under him the same money Turki is giving them. He want to keep some of that to his own, allegedly. That being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So there has been conversations about a potential fight with Shakur and Zubaida, but financially it's different because it's not in Saudi. So
Shakur Stevenson, the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Beautiful style,
yes,
great technique, has the punching power, has the